Good afternoon, family. Today I take the time off to address my friends. It seems like many are experiencing a level of anxiety about the events that are happening currently and in recent times. We have seen disasters that once would be limited to the Hollywood studios play out in reality. Tsunamis. Remember 2004, over 200,000 died after going through the holiday season. Famines, scarcity of food, hurricanes on a regular basis. I remember growing up and we'd hear about a hurricane that occurred many, many years ago, and it seems like today, every year, we're dealing with hurricanes. And they're not as small anymore. They're so large that even in Florida you find that sometimes it seems like it would hover over the entire state. There are floods in unusual places. Fires. Recently we had to deal with fires in Australia and fires in the Amazon. Of course, you know, California seems to always be on fire. Then there's snowstorms and earthquakes in diverse places. Areas where you've never heard of earthquakes before, you're hearing of them now. And as a matter of fact, it seems like the strength of the earthquakes are even much more stronger than before. We are now experiencing a pestilence called coronavirus or COVID-19 that has increased the level of anxiety to the status of panic. Governments watch as this disease spread from China, Asia, Europe, making its way to the United States and the Caribbean. And the virus has stopped us in our path. We've reached a point where the gas is cheap and there's nowhere to go. We have all the time and nowhere to go on a vacation because the whole world has stopped and is in a panic. While all these events are sounding a trumpet, they're causing us to take attention that the earth as we know it cannot continue like it had. The earth as we know it has come to an end. You ask yourself that even after this virus, if it so comes to a stop, will we continue a certain level of social distancing? There are a vast number of people who are anxious and they don't know when will this come to an end, how will it come to an end? So there's a lot of questions. As a physician, many times I'm asked by patients, that are sick and they feel bad, their mortality comes to play. They'll ask, Doc, am I gonna die? And sometimes I smile and say, yes, we all are gonna die. But let's not worry about dying right now. Let's see if we can focus on living. But the answer that we all are going to die is pertinent to our experience and the way we live. When you read the wise man book in Ecclesiastes, he says that we should ponder our mortality. It's better to be in the house of mourning than to be at one's birth. It's better to understand that death is inevitable unless we live to the last day when Jesus will come. The question today though is, how do I get out of this situation as far as living with the expectation of dying, worrying about all the different events that can cause us to lose our life, including what we're dealing with right now, the coronavirus. If we live for this brief period of time on this earth and die, is there anything else? And if there isn't anything else, then it will almost seem like nothing really matters. whether we die prior to being born. There are people who continue to believe in abortion and support abortion. Whether we come to full term and during birth there's complication and there's a stillbirth. Whether we are born and as a child, something happens, whether it be diseases or whether it be someone coming into school and shooting it up, causing us to lose our life. Whether it's a teen or a young adult, or maybe we are blessed to live to see 100 years. The question still becomes, what happens after we die? And as a matter of fact, when you look at the timeline, whether we die young or we die old, the reality is that there's still that full stop, that point where we cease to exist. So what happens? Religion exists for this purpose. It gives us hope, gives hope to the living. It gives purpose to the living. And it also gives guidance while living. I realize that there are many friends of mine who are willing to share on social media whatever comes to mind, many of which is informational. Many are funny, jokes. There's some stuff that are posted that is uplifting. And in some cases, unfortunately, I have to delete even my friends to say, well, that's not fit for hearing nor for seeing. And so today I've decided to present Jesus to my friends. There are many who I know that know him. I promote the Bible as the text that we shall use. I want to give an analysis of history as it relates to the Bible, current events as it relates to the Bible. That if one is seeking the truth with an open mind and an open heart and diligent study, I guarantee you that you will find it. If the fact that we are going to live and die, and that whatever we have perish and means nothing, then it seems like the most important study one can undertake is to find out, is there an answer to what happens after this? I look forward to joining you in future discussion, and I call it discussion because my hope is that you will listen to what is read from the Bible. We're blessed with the internet, with Google. We're blessed with information that is right at our fingertips. And the problem that we have is that we tend not to seek for information that will help us. We tend to find information that will bring us down, will keep our mind from actually trying to explore what our ultimate purpose is. And so as we go through this time, my hope is that you will be inspired to study a subject that will last from this life and bring us into the next. The first lesson that I believe is important will be that of creation. The story of creation, the essence of why we're here, or how did we get here. That's the second important, or one could say the first important reason for religion. How did we get here? The next is what happens after we leave here. Those studies is paramount to allowing us to be comfortable and to be at ease when we find the answer. Thank you.